everyone, and welcome to my first video on my Crypto Watch series. So today we're going to be talking about whether Bitcoin is going to pump or if Bitcoin is going to dump. And I'm pretty sure we are going to take a huge, steamy dump. Now, I'm going to get right into this because I don't want to waste your guys' time and I consider this crucial information. So first thing first, I drew a wedge, okay? Since we had that drop, I kind of marked off our lows. We had a low here, we had a low here, and we have a low here. So I drew a bottom line intersecting all of our lows. We also had a few high areas that I marked off as well. We had here before the big drop, we had here after a little bit of an accumulation, and then we also have here and drew a line with those as well. So this is going to be our angular support, and the white line at the top is going to be our angular resistance. So I'm going to get started with the short term. Now on the short term chart, let's go down to the 30-minute chart over here. Let's break things out a little bit. So in the short term, I am not seeing anything good. First thing first, I am seeing some bearish divergence. Bearish divergence is when we have a higher level with a lower RSI compared to a lower level with a higher RSI. This is not a good sign. This is a sign of bearish divergence. What I think is going to happen here is we're going to make some sort of head and shoulders pattern or a triple top pattern, which is very similar to what we did over here and what we did over here. And you see both times those happen, it took a big steamy dump. So I would not be arguing against this happening again. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm definitely seeing us pull back on Bitcoin to test 34,000 again, which I think we will actually end up breaking either tomorrow or Tuesday. Also, let's back this up just a little bit more here. We are seeing an inverse cup and handle pattern, and this is the second time we have seen this. So on the inverse cup and handle, we came down on the low. We followed this yellow line all the way up on the triple top, which was a bearish sign. So we came back down. Last night, we had a bit of a fake pump, which we are now seeing is leading into bearish divergence. So we kind of pulled up here. And by the looks of it, we're going to come down and create that handle, which is going to crash. This is a schematic of a inverse cup and handle. And you can obviously see what happens after the handle. And if you compare Bitcoin to the inverse cup and handle, I don't know about you, but I don't see much difference. So that would mean that this assumption that I have here would play very nicely into the larger assumption of the inverse cup and handle. To give you another example of this pattern, we did it earlier after the first big drop. We made our cup over here, we came down, we made our handle, and we plummeted. Okay, and look at how small this cup and handle is. Now compare that small cup and handle to this large one that we've been building up for a week. So obviously there's going to be a big momentum shift at some point. Also looking at the lower time frames for the stochastic, I mean, we're highly overbought right now. We're highly overbought on the 30-minute chart. We are highly overbought on the 1-hour chart. We are extremely overbought on the 2-hour chart. And again, on the 3-hour chart, we are in that high area on the stochastic. So, I mean, we got plenty and plenty and plenty of room to keep dropping here. But let's keep on going past that point. So in this wedge that I drew with this angular support and angular resistance, you can also draw out something called a bear flag. And for a bear flag, you pretty much would connect the top of this to kind of make it like a triangle. And you would put the flagpole wherever the drop looks like it's going to happen. So for me, I think the drop is probably going to be somewhere around this area, okay? And for this to go into fruition, we're looking at a $21,000 Bitcoin. Now, I think we'll probably hit 20,000 and then bounce back up over here to 25,000 really, really quickly. That is the worst case scenario. If we end up being a little bit more bullish than I thought, we might come down to this 26,000 area and actually bounce back up to 30,000 and start to work our way up over time. So I am short-term bearish. I do have a short position right now, but I am long-term bullish. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying this is the end of cryptocurrency. It's not even close. I just think we're going to have another accumulation phase here for a couple months. And speaking of accumulation, let's take a look at the wick-off pattern. Okay, so we just finished a distribution phase, in my opinion. I think we might be sitting right here now on the LPSY position. Okay, so on Bitcoin, we had a bit of a run up, and then it feels like we just jumped off of a cliff, and now it feels like we're trying to get support. But I'm seeing lots of bearish signals, which again would tell me we're probably going to drop down here to like 25, try to come up, and then drop down and finish it around $20,000, which would pair up very, very nicely. Let's go over to the daily chart. Would pair up very, very nicely with this huge head and shoulders pattern that I am now seeing. So we have our first shoulder over here, we have our head up here, and another shoulder, which we are forming here. And we are going to have to come down to kind of finish this pattern. And I'm seeing, I'm seeing a lot of support definitely around 18,000, but I don't think we'll go that low. I think the worst we'll go is like 23,000. We could hit 22, we could hit 18, but I'm expecting, at least $22,000 if we jump off a cliff here. Okay. And again, this is not a good pattern. There's nothing positive about this pattern at all. And to top it off, if we go over to our Redco pattern, this kind of shows us Bitcoin over the last 3 years without all of the noise, as I like to call it. We are seeing a 3 black crows pattern, a 1 red candle, 2 red candle, 3 red candles after a top, which is also not a good sign. As you guys can see here, we have a little top. We have 1 crow, 2 crow, 3 crows, and then look at what happens. Right, and this would be where we consolidate around 25,000, and this is where we would plummet again. So for me, I'm trying to be a little bit bullish, but I'm just seeing nothing here telling me that this is going to be bullish at all. I'm not seeing one sign of bullishness. I'm seeing lots of fake outs, lots of bearish patterns, lots of bearish signals. And the market settlement right now is that we're crashing. So if the general public is saying we're going to crash, we will crash temporarily, and then all the institutions and big players will buy back in. This is just the way that the market works. So that is my video for you guys. Thank you very much for listening. I'm sorry this wasn't very fancy or fun, probably like other YouTube videos, but I just wanted to get the facts out to you guys as fast as I could. So thank you very much for listening, and until next time, we'll see you later.